Now, it's a morning show at East Coast FM. Our number here is 087 77 11 103. We're going to be talking about vaping very soon. In the meantime, we're joined on the line by Managing Director at Vegan World, Sandra Higgins, going to be talking to us today about Go Vegan's current campaign, which provides information to the public that animal agriculture hides information that they say is our right to know. I wonder what that is. Sandra, good morning to you.
Good morning and Happy New Year, Declan.
Happy New Year to you. So, obviously, you say you do what it says in the tin. People go vegan. But what sort of information do you claim is not being told to us about people who eat meat?
Well, for the last few years, there have been a number of reports recommending a plant-based diet for the sake of the environment. And studies show that this information is significantly underreported in the media. So our current campaign is presenting the latest of this research based on a study in Oxford University, a very comprehensive study. And it analysed the diets of 55,000 vegan, vegetarian, fish eaters and flesh eaters, and assessed the impact of each of those diets on a number of environmental factors. So they found that the vegan diet, in comparison to people who eat 100 grams of animal flesh daily, the vegan diet cut methane emissions by 93.5%, which is really an astounding figure. It cut overall greenhouse gas emissions by 75%. But greenhouse gas emissions and climate change are not the only problem with animal agriculture. So the study examined a number of other environmental factors, and they found that in comparison to people who eat a small amount of animal flesh daily, the vegan diet cut water pollution and land use by 75%, wildlife destruction by 60%, and cut water use by 54%. So this is really very important information for people to understand. We're also running some print ads asking why we're subsidising a broken food system that is so damaging as well as so inefficient. Animal agriculture uses 77% of the world's farmland, but it only gives us 18% of our calories and 37% of our protein. But we're subsidising a system that's unhealthy, unsustainable, damaging, and we should be subsidising and promoting through education a vegan diet that's good for human health and the environment.
Do you think that'll come as, the weather changes and climate issues are more to the fore?
I think it will. You see, information is the key to change. We know for a fact that this information is not being given to the public. A recent EPA study found that while 85% of Irish adults are worried about climate change, and if that study had included younger people under 18, it would have been much higher, but 85% of Irish adults are worried about climate change. But 6-7% of us are not aware that agriculture is the largest source of pollution that causes climate change. So in Ireland, it's the highest contributor at 38.4%. Most people think that it's caused by transport or the fossil fuel industry, and of course both of them are really important and we do need to work on them, but they're significantly less, ranging from between 10 and 19% versus 38.4% for agriculture. So undoubtedly, if people have access to information, I think it'll change.
Recently in Dubai, they what come out of that as regards, this is the climate summit, it was fossil fuels that people were concentrating on as doing the most damage.
That's what people are concentrating on, but the most damaging factor is animal agriculture. And one of the reasons it's so damaging is the type of greenhouse gas emissions that come from it, methane and nitrous oxide, that are, they're shorter lived gases, but they have 80% of the warming potential of the fossil fuel, the ones that come from the fossil fuel. So the quickest way for us to target reduce emissions so that we meet our climate change goals and prevent global warming exceeding 1.5, or they're saying 2 degrees, is to tackle our diet. That is the quickest way, and research is also showing that there's no way that we can meet our targets unless we change to a plant-based diet. This is information that the public are not aware of. So that's what our campaign is doing. It's presenting the information to the public, because we know that information is the key to change. And what happens is we all like to have a very good opinion of ourselves, but the way we're employed and our economy is all to the good. And we have this opinion of ourselves that we love animals, but we can also eat them, and that we care about other humans and the environment and other animals. But actually, the way we're living is killing people. It has turned millions of people into climate refugees. And people don't like to think this. They don't like to think that they get up in the morning, they have a shower, they have their breakfast, travel to work, they do their grocery shopping, fill their trolley, eat their dinner. We don't like to think that these ordinary ways that we are living our lives are responsible for so much damage. But when people are confronted with the truth, they do one of two things. They either change their behaviour or they change their minds. Changing their behaviour means that they either reduce the animal products that they're eating or they eliminate them. Or they change their mind to reduce the psychological discomfort that they feel when they're confronted with the fact that the way they're living conflicts with the moral beliefs that they hold. And we change our minds in a number of ways that listeners will recognise, because we all do it. We say that other animals don't have minds and they can't feel, so that therefore they can't suffer. And in relation to the climate, you'll hear the myth that this happens to the planet every so often. This is a natural event, or climate change has happened somewhere else, or it'll happen in the future and I'll be well dead and I won't experience it. But actually the facts are that it's happening now. It's happening, certainly the way we live is impacting to a much greater extent in the countries who are least responsible for climate change. But we can feel it in Ireland too. We can feel the effects of it.
Well, people, a lot of people have faith in some way that this will be resolved. We can keep our nature of the way we live. It won't disrupt a lot of people who earn their living from the food industry, which contains quite a lot of meat, and it will be sorted, and we're not going to put people out of business. And there's a lot of people, and Ireland's biggest industry is agriculture, and we don't want to jeopardise that.
That again is a myth. First of all, business as usual is a disaster. It's not only a disaster for all of us walking around the city living our lives, it's a disaster for farmers, because it's creating environmental conditions in which we won't be able to produce food at all. We won't be able to grow plants. And if we can't grow plants, we can't feed animals. And secondly, transitioning to a plant-based diet will do anything but put people out of business. We'll always need farmers. What we need to do is support farmers to transition to a more sustainable, environmentally friendly and ethical way of farming, which is not animal agriculture. It's plant-based agriculture and a number of other forms of farm, not non-food farming that farmers can engage in. So it'll do anything but put farmers out of business.
All right. Okay, Sandra, thanks for making your case this morning. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Good morning to you. Thank you. Sandra Higgins there, who's Managing Director of Go Vegan World. Morning show at East Coast FM.